Hello there, everyone, and welcome back to Star Trek Online. Today we're going to be finishing up the Iconian War, or at least trying to. And then after the Iconian War, it looks like we're going to have some Mirror Universe. No, Mirror Universe. God damn it. I messed up again. We're going to have some Agents of Yesterday stuff to do. Sort of. I mean, the rest of it is pretty much right here for the Agents of Yesterday. Yeah, it looks like we would have to do these 3 missions. This comes after Future Proof. So I'll avoid that until after finishing that. Oh boy. And for this we have 3 missions left. Broken Circle, Butterfly, Midnight. Let's hail Broken Circle.
Please report to the Kiana system. Our partnership with the Crinum is starting to bear fruit, but the project may take more time to complete than we have left. We must consider any plan that ensures our survival.
Players below level 50 may reach the Kiana system directly by traveling to the Dyson Sphere Gateway near the Dret system in the Beta Quadrant. I get some more bubble stuff. Iconian War Veteran. Anti-Chronoton. Well. So that's a Tetrion weapon. Reactive armor catalysts. Gem subspace transmissions. Might grab this. Alright, so accept.
The war continues, and all of our warriors are needed to fight.
Okay. Just transfer up there, I guess. Oops. Let's fix that. Ow. Just started getting a little bit of a cramp in my hand. Alright. Let's begin.
You are cleared for docking.
That's a lot of ships. Captain Cogran has sent his aide, Lieutenant Tulek, to give you a brief tour of the Crenum Research Facility. So far, the Alliance's venture with the Crenum has been very productive. Together, our teams are making progress toward completing Anorax's designs for a ship capable of temporal incursions. The lieutenant is waiting to greet you, sir. Acknowledged.
Greetings. On behalf of Captain Cogran and Alliance Command, I am pleased to welcome you to our research station. The captain is completing his preparations. In the meantime, I will give you a tour of the facility, where we are building a weapon that will end the Iconian threat once and for all. Follow me. Our researchers can explain how the weapon works and answer any questions you may have.
Lead the way, Lieutenant.
And here, we have the development area.
How much do you know about the Crenum, 7 of 9?
The Borg have extensive records on the Krenim. They were a species of great interest to the Collective.
I'm not sure I like the idea of the Borg studying us like a bug in a petri dish. I'm not sure I like the idea of the Borg studying anyone.
And what about the Iconians?
The Collective spent a great deal of resources pursuing Iconian technology. They believed the species to be extinct. They were incorrect.
So much for the Borg knowing everything.
The Iconians' technology is far beyond even the capabilities of the Borg.
Fine. But what about shielding the ship that's using the weapon? We haven't solved the paradox problem yet.
This is not my first experience with alternate timelines. It would be possible to develop a form of temporal shielding to protect this vessel from alterations in the timeline.
Okay.
Welcome to our facility. I'm working with one of the teams here to develop the time ship and choose a target. What we do is different from time travel. Anorax's designs are actually for a weapon that can remove elements from the time stream completely, and then time reshapes itself to account for that absence.
Time reshapes itself? Does that mean reality itself will change?
In some ways, yes. Once the weapon is fired, it can create an entirely new reality. And anyone or anything that isn't temporally shielded will be a part of that reality. That's why we have to proceed slowly. If we're not careful, we could change everything we know and not even know what's happened.
That could be as dangerous to us as it is to the Iconians.
But think of the possibilities. We could reverse the effects of wars, stop threats like the Iconians, even turn back time and eliminate the Borg. This is a weapon, but it's one that can make a better galaxy.
Perhaps, but many terrible things have come about from the best of intentions.
Captain Cogran's briefing is about to begin. Follow me to the conference room.
Lead the way, Lieutenant. Boy, we must be desperate if we're not thinking this through very well. Oh, there's the Admiral. And Admiral Carrick. Hello, Philip. Sean, Jirok.
Greetings. I have heard much about your victories against the Iconians. It is an honor to work with a warrior like yourself. We are almost ready to begin. First, however, Agent Cray would like a word.
Aye, sir.
Greetings. My name is Philip Cray. I'm the liaison from Temporal Investigations for this project.
Who are you?
Well, where do I start? I'm 157 years old. That's only because I spent 90 years caught in a temporal distortion in the Typhon Expanse, serving as an ensign under Captain Morgan Bateson on the USS Bozeman. Much of the crew of the Bozeman found it difficult to integrate back into Starfleet. So much had changed. The Temporal Intelligence Agency took in many of my shipmates, due to our first-hand knowledge of events that occurred in the past. So, that's where I ended up.
Why does this project need a liaison for temporal investigations?
The Federation has some serious concerns about possible violations of the Temporal Prime Directive. Normally, Starfleet personnel are strictly prohibited from directly interfering with historical events, and should make every effort to maintain the timeline.
And yet, this weapon is being created for exactly that purpose.
Indeed. That should tell you how serious this war has become. If the Iconians win, there probably won't be anyone left to preserve the timeline. In this instance, my role is to ensure that we succeed in our task with the minimal possible disruption to the timeline, as well as to address any repercussions of those disruptions.
So the directive is only a directive when it is convenient.
I don't disagree. As a Starfleet officer, I am sworn to uphold the Temporal Prime Directive. Not only that, but I have seen firsthand the dangers that come from ignoring it. But as the Vulcans say, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. The Iconians cannot use time travel, and that makes it a weapon we can use against them. We must consider carefully whether it is too dangerous of a weapon to use at all.
I still have my objections, and I'll be bringing them up with command.
The war is not going as well as we might wish. Our fleet are protecting key worlds, but dozens of other targets have fallen to Herald attacks. Civilian casualties are rising. We need to act. This facility is building a device to turn the tide in our favor. Captain Nog, what is the status of the weapon?
We've had some setbacks, Captain. We're still weeks from a working prototype. No amount of temporal manipulation will change that.
And have you chosen a target for the temporal incursion?
We are still running simulations. We've configured the holodecks to help us evaluate the possible changes that occur after removing an element from the time stream. Some of these scenarios show promise, but none are exactly what you want.
Very well. We cannot afford to wait another day. We are losing this war. We need to strike now. A direct engagement is our only option. We will put all our resources into a full attack on the Iconians. Every ship we can muster will be a part of one massive strike against the Herald Sphere. Captain Paris is already moving into position with the Vanguard. Ships here will report to the Herald Sphere as soon as possible. There will be more warriors in Stovokor tonight. But first, we will make the Iconians bleed.
Did anyone else see a chair, like, with somebody sitting on it, floating in the air? That looks so weird. Ready to depart, sir. Beam us up. Orders coming in from Captain Cogran now, sir. The battle has commenced, and Captain Paris is preparing to engage the enemy. The Alexandra is to rendezvous with the task force waiting in the Kiana system, and then report with them to the Herald Sphere to reinforce the ships already there. Well, let's go then. A lot of Odyssey.
You are the last ship to arrive. We are ready to set course for the sphere.
Let's go then.
Alpha Wing, you are cleared for departure.
Sir, the fleet is in complete disarray. We're picking up multiple distress calls, and as well as an incoming transmission from Captain Paris. Do you want me to put him on the main view screen? On screen.
Am I glad to see you? It's just not working. The Iconians are gating in their ships, and they have far more reserves than we anticipated. I've called for a hold on the flagship assault until we regroup. There's no point in a suicide run. First, we need to help our ships in trouble. Can I count on you to help?
We'll do all we can for those ships, Captain.
This is Kyla Mex from the USS Keller. We are coming and are in need of immediate assistance.
Requesting immediate assistance!
Am I supposed to be assisting? Come on. Oh god! They're being blown up!
We're falling back.
I cannot do that, Captain. A Klingon does not run from battle. Farewell, Captain. Today is a good day to die.
All right, people, we've got one shot at this.
Wait, what?
We'll take care of the reinforcements. Follow that dreadnought.
Why did the cutscene start going off again?
We are clear to enter the gateway.
Pathway is clear to follow this dreadnought. We have traveled to inside the sphere. From what we know, the Heralds used the sphere to control and protect the Iconian Gateway network. We've had strike forces assaulting spheres like this once since the beginning of the war. But we've never managed to do more than knock the gateways offline temporarily. Well, the first priority is finding our strike teams. Enemy flagship is straight ahead. Priority hail coming in from Captain Paris. Put him on screen.
The flagship's shields are down, and it's losing power. Looks like they're trying to interface with the sphere to give themselves a boost. This might be our one chance to board it and take control. I have 3 troop transports standing by.
Understood. We'll clear the path. What's happening?
Signaling the carriers to move into position now. Herald reinforcements inbound. We need to deal with them.
From where? Over there. Oh, great.
parties are on the flagship and reporting heavy resistance. I'll stay here and keep any reinforcements off your back. You need to transport to the flagship and help our teams there.
Let's go then. Sir, interference from the sphere is blocking some comm signals. Attempting to compensate now. Do what you can.
Great! We got through. What's your status? We can't reach any of the other away teams.
We are safely aboard. Away teams are engaging the Heralds.
Acknowledged. Sensors are picking up power fluctuations near your coordinates. The impact with the Quartar must have disrupted their systems. Start disabling anything you can reach. If we do enough damage, maybe that will help us take their ship.
That sounds like an old-fashioned pirate raid, Captain. Yeah, you got my rainbow weapon.
Away teams are attacking power junctions, but they are encountering heavy resistance. It would be an honor to join your team, sir.
Follow me.
Away teams reporting in, sir. Heavy resistance and heavy casualties. Detecting life signs and weapon discharges. Dead ahead. I am detecting Federation and Herald weapons fire beyond this door. There is also a power junction.
Showtime! Showtime!
Matara is retreating. She might be trying to recharge her energy.
Get up, cool.
Whoa, what are you doing over there? The fluctuations are increasing exponentially.
We disabled some power junctions, but Matara escaped using a gateway. We must be doing some damage to get her attention.
Interesting, but it makes sense. The Iconians are energy beings. If Matara can't use the ship's systems, she'll use herself as a battery for the gateways. But that's probably dangerous for her. She's bleeding herself dry with every gateway. Keep at it. If you can drain enough of her energy, she might make herself vulnerable.
Herald reinforcements!
Oh, come on.
We need to disable the other junction, sir. There is another power junction ahead. demon is weakening. Keep disabling the power junction.
It's working! She's using her own energy to power the gateway.
More reinforcements, sir. The area is secure, and the other interface is just over there. I am detecting a third junction ahead. Another junction just ahead, sir. If we can keep forcing the creature to use her own power, we can weaken her enough to defeat her. I am detecting strong energy signatures ahead. I believe it to be some kind of command center. Scans confirm her energy readings are decreasing. This could work.
Dang it.
A harbinger! Prepare yourself! We must disable the other interface before we continue. The area ahead contains 4 interface junctions.
Oh, god damn it. That was literally right on top of me.
Reinforcements on their way.
I like this gun. It's what does it do? Anti-proton.
More reinforcements. Watch your back.
Oh god, he just charged right at us. Oh my god, they're all dead.
I see clearly now, Ticket. I will stand with you, and these creatures will pay for what they've done.
You brought this on yourselves.
Kill them. Kill them all.
Fall back! Transporter, beam us up!
You made it back! Count yourself among the fortunate few. What's the situation on the flagship?
Batara is dead.
I hate to say it, but that might be the first bit of good news I've heard all day. Okay, we need to fall back. While there's still a chance, the Heralds will be coming back in force.
Acknowledged. There's an Odyssey class wreckage.
These warriors died well, and they will not be forgotten.
Fortescue. I think that's a Data Rex. I think it's what it's called down there. Oh, what mail did I get? Item has been sold. People are buying the stuff I put in the exchange. Gateways are opening at the edge of the system. Alliance Command is ordering all available ships to fall back and not engage Herald ships. It's time to go. Agreed. Remain a course out of the system. Sir, I am detecting escape pods on long-range sensors. There's the Star Dancer. I had a friend on that ship. We lost so many ships. What could be worth this price? We've recovered all we can, sir, but there are a few survivors. All of these ships, all of these people. Steady. This is not the time to mourn. Course laid in for the Kiana system. We can depart on your order. Engage. Oh, Typhoon class. We have returned to the Kiana system, sir. Several of the senior officers are waiting for you in the conference room. Acknowledged. between Linus and this battle, I've lost a lot of friends.
Despite the extraordinary efforts of you and many others, our operation was a failure. We're still totaling up the casualties, but the cost was too great. The Heralds still stand. They have lost one Iconian, but if anything, that will only prolong the conflict. Defeating Matara was a combination of the sacrifice of Guroth and many others, your quick thinking and martial prowess, and the Iconians' arrogance. Matara did not believe an Iconian could die. The others will not make the same mistake.
We had to take the risk, Captain. We couldn't wait for the Krenim weapon.
Indeed, but that is a small comfort to the warriors who have entered Stovercore this day. Those of us who remain will mourn, and then we survive another day.
And we will defeat the Iconians.
I want to personally commend you. Whatever success we had in this mission was thanks to you. The Iconians have lost their leader. Their unity is broken. That might give us an opening to end this war. The cost, though? All those people? I can't help but feel that I failed them.
You can't blame yourself, Captain. They knew the risks, and they were willing to take them.
I don't think we have a choice now. We have to complete the Krenim device. Captain Cogran wants it online immediately, but this isn't something we can rush. Cutting corners with temporal mechanics? That's how you end up with unsolvable time paradoxes. Look, I'll do whatever I can, but I'm scared of this technology. Building it will be the greatest challenge of my career. But actually altering time? I'm not sure anyone should have that much power.
I understand your concern, but it's our best option. Wait, am I really on board with this already?
Our losses were great today, and we will mourn for every hero who died defending their galaxy. I am a warrior. I believe in honorable combat, direct tactics, and looking my enemy in the eye. Although you did manage to destroy Matara and break the unity of the Iconians, I now see that we cannot use traditional combat to defeat them. Captain Nog and his team will continue their work on the weapon. It may be our only option. The war continues, and all of our warriors are needed to fight. The research teams in the Kiana system require your assistance. They have been running thousands of temporal incursion simulations of how to use the Krenim weapon. But I need an officer with field experience to evaluate the project and its feasibility. You will participate in a focus test of the most promising options. A blade cuts both ways. We must be sure that what this weapon can do to the Iconians does not cause greater harm to us.
Then we have some anti-chronoton weapons. So wait, when they say anti-chronoton, does that mean this? Okay, so this is a Tetrion weapon then, I guess. Okay. And I'm using anti-proton. So I'm guessing the Heralds might be weaker to Tetrion and anti-proton weapons. That's what I'm guessing. And maybe chronoton weapons. Funny how we have anti-chronoton and chronoton.
The war continues, and
Hold on, hold on. Hold your horses. Let me put this on. See, the visual thing is being a bit weird again. Don't know why it does that sometimes. Okay. Might as well look at everything I have here. Alright. Butterfly.
Welcome! We have been working with the Krenim to build both this facility and a weapon similar to the one developed by Anorax in the 22nd century. Captain Nog is running point for the Alliance, but teams from all across the Alpha and Beta quadrants are involved with the research. It's fascinating work, but there's a lot to do yet.
How can I help?
Captain Nog might be able to explain more. He's waiting for you.
It's good to see you again, Androna. How have you been?
It's good to see you too. For a few weeks, I was helping the Alliance research new ways to deactivate Iconian gateways. We were making progress, but it wasn't fast enough to stop the advance of the Heralds. After Captain Nog made contact with the Krenim, I asked to transfer here. Now I'm working with interdimensional resonance harmonics to help recreate Anorax's work.
Having better sleep?
Yes, I have. I guess the Solanae aren't visiting me at night anymore. Or maybe it's the 14-hour days trying to wrap my brain around complex temporal equations that are wearing me out. Either way, my sleep is greatly improved. Thank you for asking.
Well, it's good to see you again.
Welcome. We have been working with the Krenim to but Captain Nog might be able to explain more.
I wish I was seeing you under better circumstances. We've managed to make a prototype of the Krenim weapon in Anorax's records, but we have not attempted to use it yet. Time isn't something you mess around with, so we have been conducting simulations here of possible incursions, as well as developing new ways to protect and store data on various timelines.
Can you explain the process to me? How is this different from going back in time, changing something, and creating an alternate timeline?
When we talk about time alteration, we're specifically referring to the Krenim weapon's ability to remove something from time. Anything, from a single molecule to an entire civilization. It's as if the target of the weapon never existed at all.
So it doesn't just move something, it deletes it.
Correct. The changes ripple out from the incursion point and result in a new reality where the target no longer exists. This does mean that the ship must be able to fire on a target. The details are a bit more complex, of course, but that's the main difference from conventional time travel.
And no one has a problem with this?
Temporal agents from all three factions are watching everything we do carefully. That's one of the reasons we're running holodeck simulations first. Between you and me, I'm glad they're here. The Krenim are a little too eager to use the weapon. Time manipulation is a very delicate operation under the best of circumstances. We can't just start shooting things out of existence and hoping it all works out for the best.
I agree, Captain.
I wish I was seeing you under better circumstances. We've managed to make a
What about just removing the Iconians from the time stream?
That was the first simulation we tried. The results were fairly catastrophic.
Catastrophic?
Without the Iconians, the first development of warp technology by other cultures in the Alpha Quadrant is severely delayed, by about 50,000 years. Removing the Iconians would change everything we know.
We would eventually develop warp travel, right? Seems inevitable.
Let me put it this way. In one version, the Day Ones eventually rise to power and conquer most of the Beta Quadrant. They are forced back by the Vulcans, who never embrace logic, and later enslave much of what is now Federation and Klingon space.
I can see how this would be a problem.
I'm not done yet. The Herc never developed warp technology at all, so they never invade Kronos and unite the Klingons as a warrior culture. When the Vulcan Star Empire finds the Klingons in the 22nd century, they were mostly farmers who had made some advances in epic poetry. By the present day in this simulation, the Vulcan Star Empire is locked in a to-the-death struggle with the Dominion.
I get it. Removing the Iconians directly is a bad idea.
I wish I was seeing you under better circumstances.
Sela said something about Iconians and time travel. Is that important?
Oh, that the Iconians can't time travel because it unravels their minds. She was being dramatic, but she was essentially correct. When most humanoids time travel, they retain the memories of their timeline of origin. So you realize when things have changed. Iconians are at least partially energy beings. You saw that when Matara was able to use her own power to open gateways. And their brain structure is very different from other humanoids. As far as we understand, if an Iconian traveled back in time, their mind and memories would reshape to fit that time, so they would retain no memories of the present. They don't use time travel because it would literally be taking a step backwards.
I understand now. Thank you.
I wish I was seeing you under better circumstances.
Protect what we know.
Once we make an incursion, anything not protected by a temporal shield will conform to the new timeline. That includes all of us once this mission is over. We won't remember the Iconians, the war, or anything that changes in the new timeline. Clouda has been leading the work to create a shielded computer core to hold all the data we currently have. A time capsule, I guess you'd call it.
The core needs to be shielded forever?
Correct. This isn't the sort of sacrifice we'd expect any personnel involved in the incursion to make. So we've built a computer to retain the information for us. We'll know what happened before, even though it essentially will have happened to someone else.
Understood.
I wish I was seeing you under better circumstances.
Do you have any ideas
on to make a prototype
when
of the Krenim weapon in Anorax's
when to make an incursion?
We've tried a different number of scenarios, but only in the holodeck. Direct action against the Iconians is proving to be problematic, because so much time has passed since they were first a great power. Incursions that far back in time must be carefully planned, or the fallout of even minor changes can ripple across reality. We have, however, seen some promise in trying to delay their arrival.
But that's just delaying the inevitable for a few years.
Actually, it would be closer to a 700-year delay if our calculations are correct. The Iconians have had 200,000 years to build their fleets, but we're catching up to them. We've already seen what the 29th century technology can do. Imagine what we'll have in the 32nd century.
So we'd be on more equal footing.
Exactly. The other potential solution is to cut into the current power base. What if the Iconians never allied with the Alachi or the Solanae? We wouldn't be facing the trouble we do now.
What are our best scenarios?
The three most promising incursions each follow one of these tactics. My teams have been running simulations and refining their targets, but I'd like you to assist them using a special quantum recursive algorithm. Our simulators can run the outcome of a possible incursion on the holodeck. Interacting with that simulation will give us more data than just crunching the numbers. We need to really interact with it to see what reality would look like, and for that, I need someone like you with field experience.
I'm not sure about changing time, but simulations can't hurt.
Hello. Please allow me to explain what we're doing here. We've determined that if we remove a specific series of stars from the Beta Quadrant in the distant past, a rogue planet will enter the Iconia system and cause massive geological damage at about the same time the planet was bombarded by the Iconians' enemies. The technological buildup of the orbital bombardment that destroyed the Iconian civilization will still happen, but the Iconians themselves will have to deal with a natural disaster, not a war.
And you think this is better than a war?
Maybe the survivors of a natural disaster, if there are any, won't be so vengeful, and none of the stars we will remove have planets with the possibility of developing life. the overall effect on the galaxy is minimal. It's a painful path, but it could be the one that leads to peace.
I don't know if I like the idea of removing entire stars.
The number of stars we will have to remove is a concern, which is why we're trying this in a simulation first. But as Captain Nog said, these simulations aren't perfect, so we have devised a holodeck program that will expand and extrapolate on possible effects of the temporal incursion.
You're giving a lot of weight to the holodeck.
It's the best option we have available to us. The holodeck's algorithms have been updated to change and adapt to the data created by the simulated timeline alteration. This is not your average holo novel.
Very well. What do you need me to do?
Once we run the program, you'll be able to interact with our best approximation of the new timeline. Interaction with the holodeck components will allow the program to generate a more in-depth solution and give us a better idea of what to expect. We have set this simulation on a Federation starship patrolling the Sol system, and you are the captain. If all goes as planned, we expect that almost everything in the system should be close to current reality.
Understood. I'll run the program. Ensign, report.
Captain, you're alive. We repelled the intruders on the bridge, but the ship has taken heavy damage, and a lot of the crew are injured.
What's the situation?
Sir, I'm not sure this is the time. So many people are hurt, and most of the systems are offline. The life support is on backups, and our resources are down to nothing, and...
I'll help the wounded, but you need to help me. What happened?
The Dominion stopped firing at us when we lost weapons. Now they're focusing on Earth's defense grid, but it's only a matter of time before they return to finish us off.
We'll stabilize the crew and fight back. This isn't over.
Sir, I tried to fight them off. The boarding parties, the Jem'Hadar. We have to stop the Dominion. They can't take Earth too.
Don't worry, we'll stop them.
I never expected they would get so far into our defenses. I'm sorry, Captain. I just need a moment. Then I'll be ready to fight.
Whenever you're ready. Boy, this ship has taken a lot of damage.
We can't stop them. Maybe if we hadn't been at war with the Romulans. Maybe if the Klingons hadn't ripped themselves apart. I'll be fine, Captain. Just rattled.
Go to sickbay if you need to.
Incoming hail!
This console still works?
USS Ajax. Sensors show your ship is completely defenseless, and I would prefer not to delay our arrival at Earth to deal with such a minor annoyance. Surrender now, and I will guarantee the safety of your crew.
Go to hell. That's how I would respond to that. Warning. Hull breaches on decks 4, 5, and 6. Emergency force fields engaged. Hull integrity 22.8%. Weapons offline. Shields offline. Life support. Emergency backups engaged. Beta Z. Status taken. Estimated casualties 3 billion. Tellar Prime. Status taken. Estimated casualties 2.5 billion. Vulcan. Status uninhabitable. Estimated casualties 9.4 billion. Captain's personal log. Stardate 87319.0. We haven't seen the bulk of the enemy fleet in 3 days, but their scouts continue to harass us. Vulcan is lost. Andoria is in flames. Romulus, Tellar Prime, Beta Z, Trill, ashes. If the Romulans had joined us, maybe this would have been different. The Klingons barely God damn it. The Klingons barely had enough ships left to patrol their home system. They weren't a threat anymore. We were offering friendship, but the Romulans refused us. And then the Dominion came and took everything. Long-range sensors are offline. There is no Iconian activity in the immediate area. So I just used my actual weapon for that event.
Hello.
Isn't this all a violation of Starfleet's Temporal Prime Directive?
Under ordinary circumstances, perhaps. It's only because the Iconian situation is so desperate that we're allowing this research to continue. You've been on the front lines of the war. I'm sure you realize how few options we have left.
It's bad out there, but is this really our only option?
Hello.
That's not what I asked. Hello there, Drake. C-Section 31 has given an eye on us.
Sorry, we were watching from the control room, and that could have gone better. Even with all that, the simulation data on whether the Iconians were entirely eliminated from that timeline is inconclusive. We were able to record your interactions, and we've been able to piece together what happened from those.
What did you find?
From what we can piece together, the Klingon Empire was never unified by its conflicts against outsiders, and the great houses turned on one another instead. The Romulans took the chaos as an opportunity to attack. The Federation stepped in to help the Klingons, and the war between the three factions basically ripped the quadrant apart. The Dominion then conquered all three weakened powers.
It's not our solution.
Agreed. My team will continue working on other possible incursion scenarios.
Perhaps we can weaken their power base.
Another one of you Voyagers? I don't know how you can help, but very well. My team is working on scenarios that reduce the Iconian power base. We're attempting to do so by fixing a mistake that Janeway allowed to happen decades ago. We're going to stop the Vaadwaur from being rediscovered. We plan to do this by preventing Voyager from ever coming into contact with Underspace. This will prevent them from finding Vaadwaur Prime, and 7 of 9 will never wake the Vaadwaur.
And I suppose leaving the Vaadwaur in stasis will help the Krenim too.
None of us are going to survive if we don't try to repair the damage you've already done. The goal is to cause a solar flare that will force Voyager to divert from the course it was on when it stumbled into Underspace. If it safely passes without entering Underspace, it can continue on its trip home and bypass the Vaadwaur entirely.
I suppose that might work.
The simulation is set for the USS Voyager, which is fitting since they caused the problem in the first place. Our projections show that even if the Vaadwaur never return, your people will still find a reason to stick your noses into our business. So, we're attempting to see how the elimination of the Vaadwaur will change the formation of the Delta Alliance. You will be a member of the diplomatic team.
I'll run the program.
Don't mind Noy. I think he partially blames people from your quadrant for some of the Krennin's troubles. After all, if Voyager hadn't restored the Vaadwaur, they would have never been in a position to ally with the Iconians. But there is no reason to dwell on past hurts. We're trying to fix what we can here, and then learn to accept the rest. Noy funnels that passion to help his people into his work. Perhaps it will change everything.
Thank you for your honesty.
It is a pleasure to meet you. Both Captain Nog and Seven speak highly of you.
Excuse me, but I'm not sure I've met anyone from your species before.
My name is Claudia, and I am a Tutarian. We're from a region of the Delta Quadrant Voyager never visited. so we haven't had much contact with species from the Alpha and Beta quadrants until now. However, my world has had close ties with the Krenim for several years. Now that they are actively pursuing temporal technology, I chose to join them and lend whatever assistance I can. I miss my home, but I've made a new one here. Meeting Noi has opened me up to a world beyond my own.
I see.
It is a pleasure to meet you.
So what do you do here?
I was on Kiana Prime with Noi when we received word of the Vadwar attacks. We had only hours to get the temporal equipment running and remove the population from the time stream. Since then, the focus of my work has been developing more stable data storage. We can see into other timelines, but we need a way to secure the data through temporal shifts so we can preserve information about incursions and their effects. In the case of a catastrophic shift, that data could be used as a map to restore the timeline.
Interesting.
It is a pleasure to meet you. Both
Noi doesn't
Captain
seem
Nog
to like
and
us
Seven
much.
Don't mind Noi.
Oh, okay.
It is a pleasure to meet.
This is an absolute disaster. I had thought that Admiral Tuvok was being pessimistic about the chance for success here, but now I think he was right.
Alliance making isn't a quick process.
No, it's not. The hierarchy started setting these people against one another before Admiral Tuvok and his team could start to pull them together. The very fact that they all agreed to be in the same room is a minor miracle.
Do you think he can bring them together?
Eventually. Between Vulcan logic, Klingon tenacity, and Romulan pragmatism, we'll convince everyone here that the threat is real, and an alliance is in their best interest. But it won't be easy. Now, if you'll excuse me, I see I have another argument to break up.
Good luck, Ambassador.
We've always tried to be good neighbors and treat other races with respect, but this is really too much. The Malon are using our system as a dump, and their trash isn't our problem.
You have a right to be concerned, but please calm down.
I should be shouting. I'm upset. The Malon are trying to force us off our beautiful new planet so they can turn it into something toxic. How would you like it if someone treated your ship like a garbage scow?
Maybe you're right. I'd be angry too.
We've always tried to be good neighbors and treat other races with respect, but this is really too much. The Malon are using our system as a dump, and their trash isn't our problem.
What do you think about the hierarchy becoming more aggressive?
The Malon claim the hierarchy are harassing them, but they're targeting our ships too. So I don't know what to believe. But there are rumors, traitor talk, you know how it is. But I've heard it a lot lately. They say the hierarchy are capturing people and selling them to another race for experiments or as food.
Do you think that's true?
We've always tried to be good neighbors and treat other
The
races
Malon
with
aren't the biggest
respect,
danger
but
to
this
your
is really
people.
The Malon might not be the biggest threat, but they are the most immediate. Wait until they start dumping their trash in your front yard and see how you like it.
Keep talking to the Malon. Perhaps you can find a compromise.
Are you here to preach about responsible waste management too? You can save it. I have a commitment to my people and my planet that supersedes any other concerns.
The Talaxians are concerned about waste on their borders.
How dare you dictate how we should behave? The disposal of hazardous waste is a noble sacrifice my people make on behalf of their families. Who are you to cheapen their sacrifice? What we do is none of your business.
There are other solutions, but I see you're not interested.
Are you here to preach about responsible
What do you think of the
waste
hierarchy?
I don't want to talk about the hierarchy. They're nothing but trouble. That's part of the reason we're looking for new dumping grounds. I've lost too many ships in the past year. Half a generation of valuable and desperately needed haulers. They're just gone. And I know the hierarchy is to blame.
I see.
Are you here to preach about
Maybe there's someplace
responsible
else you
waste
can dump your
management
waste
too?
without harming others.
We don't need outsiders telling us what to do. If the Talaxians want to talk, they can come to us directly.
Let me see if there's another way to get you interested in joining this conversation.
The Malon have resisted attempts to accept less hazardous waste management practices and continue dumping waste throughout the quadrant. The most at-risk populations are the Talaxians, who have a new colony close to Malon dumping grounds. The Malon have moved into Talaxian space to avoid hierarchy attacks. Diplomatic relations between the Malon and Talaxians are rapidly deteriorating. The Malon have accused the Talaxians of working with the hierarchy, a charge the Talaxians strenuously deny.
Analysis.
The Benthans could possibly pressure the Malon to return to the negotiation table.
Yes, what is your question? I am rather busy. The Hazari are stepping up their smuggling operations, and the hierarchy's new drive for profits has created a significant increase in attacks on unaligned transports.
Would the Benthans be willing to assist the Talaxians in their negotiations with the Malon?
We have enough to do at the moment without getting into a dispute that doesn't concern us. The hierarchy is harassing our supply lines, and I'm convinced they're behind the losses we've taken over the past 3 months. We're having to double up patrols, which means we're leaving holes the Hazari can slip through. The Malon are a headache we don't need.
I found that working with allies usually brings about positive results.
Yes, what is your question? I am rather busy. The Hazari are
What do you think of the hierarchy's current actions?
The hierarchy's surveillance measures are the best in the quadrant, and that's left us more exposed than I would like. We're losing ships. Once or twice we found debris with hierarchy weapon signatures, but they're cautious. It's like they can smell traps.
Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry to trouble you.
Good luck with that. The Hazari aren't interested in anything but making deals. This whole meeting is just a waste of time. Unity might work where you come from, but I don't have any reason to cooperate with criminals like the Hazari or thugs like the hierarchy.
Maybe I can convince them differently.
What do you want? Did the Benthans make you one of their little deputies? Or was it the Malon? Before everyone broke ties with the hierarchy, they told us what people say about us. Mercenaries. Honorless. Ha! They all deny it, but we know. Now we look out for ourselves.
Would you be willing to pull, would you be willing to pull it out of Bentham space?
No. We need to make a living, same as the rest of you. If the Benthans would take out the hierarchy on our borders, we wouldn't be forced to move into Bentham space. But no, they won't do that. They don't think mercenaries rate protection.
Sounds like you should be working with the Benthans, not against them.
What do you want? Did the
What do you think of the hierarchy?
Troublemakers. They make our jobs harder and easier. They watch everyone. We used to trade for information from them, but now they won't sell. If we can capture one of their ships, it's like a treasure hoard of information. Makes hunting bounties real easy. But it's harder to take out their ships. I hear they're getting upgrades. And it's not just their ships. Stories going around about one captain whose arm was ripped off by a hierarchy commander. Used to be they'd run from fights. Now they start them.
It doesn't sound like the hierarchy I know.
What do you want? Did the Benthans make
that's,
you one of their
if that's how you
deputies?
think, I guess we're done.
Fine. Run back to the Benthans. I'll be here if you want to talk business.
Sorry, but I'm not in the market for mercenaries.
Unraveling this mess could take months, years.
You're the right man for the job, Ambassador. Welcome, Diplomatic Attaché Vinitra.
The The number of planets the hierarchy have taken outright has increased 20% over the past 6 months. A push for higher profits has prompted steady growth of hierarchy territory. Reports of abductions in areas near hierarchy space have increased by 77.2%. However, this data has not been confirmed by outside sources because few Delta Quadrant species are willing to share information with the Federation. Further investigation is needed.
Ambassador's log, stardate 87234.5. Our allies in the Kiana system have been invaded by hierarchy forces. The Kiana colony is a small farming community with no strategic value, so the attack simply doesn't make sense. According to one survivor we managed to find, the hierarchy were working with the Ilachi. The Ilachi took captives to an unknown location.
Long-range sensors are detecting both Herald and Iconian readings. While they do not appear to be in active conflict with Alliance forces, we are seeing more ships than normal. There are both Herald and Iconian signals in hierarchy space. It appears the Heralds may be using that area as a staging ground for a coordinated attack with the hierarchy on high-value targets throughout the Delta Quadrant. Cross-checking with Voyager's log shows a similar situation in the Alpha and Beta quadrants.
Damn, that was useless. The Iconians were so determined to have a hold here that they simply found another species to fit the bill. Maybe if you had been a better negotiator, you would have been able to unite those representatives against the hierarchy. Then, at least we would have had a chance.
And maybe you wouldn't.
This scenario isn't as catastrophic as trying to remove the Iconians, but it's not exactly ideal either. We'll have to try something else.
Yes, this isn't going to work.
You must excuse my husband's harsh demeanor. This has been a very trying time for the Krenim. Thank you for helping us get this far. We'll keep working.
Thank you, Claudia.
Trust my wife to be the voice of reason. Perhaps I was too hard on you. I just want to be able to fix all of this. We can't turn back time, but we can change it. Please speak to Gamma Team. Captain Nog thinks very highly of their plan.
Thank you. I'll speak to Gamma Team.
Hello. We've been waiting for you. Our team is focusing on delaying tactics. What if Iconia had never been discovered? In 2365, Captain Donald Varley of the USS Yamato found a star chart on Denias 3 that revealed the location of Iconia. I want to redirect a meteor to impact the archaeological site on Denias 3 before Captain Varley begins his excavations. Iconia will remain a myth, and we will not attract the Iconians' attention as early as we did.
That's just a delay. Another gateway was found a few years later.
True. But if you compare the changes in Iconian technology over the past 200,000 years with what the rest of us have done in the past 2 centuries, it's obvious that the Iconian culture has stagnated while we have advanced rapidly. Additionally, there are other factors in play that could trigger the alliances and sharing of technology that have come about because of the Iconian threat. It's a risk, but it's one that could pay off.
I see why you're trying this on a holodeck first.
The program is set for Romulan space. Because the Hobus supernova was caused by direct Iconian interference, we expect Romulus to be intact in this new reality. As such, the Romulan Star Empire should once again be a major power in the quadrant. Your role will be as an officer on a Romulan warbird.
Still a Romulan Star Empire?
Yes. To call it a huge change would be an understatement. Please be aware that nothing will be done unless the Republic agrees this is the best possible solution. There is already a team here working on the possible restoration of Romulus, and Commander Jirak has been authorized to speak for the Republic if needed. The fact that our data shows delaying the Iconian arrival will also save Romulus is an interesting coincidence, but it does not mean we will accept the solution without looking at other options.
I see.
The program is set for Romulan space.
Understood. I'll run the program. Commander Tamara is waiting for you, sir. Just ignore the fact that a Starfleet officer is here.
Ah, Sub-Commander. I'd like to test out some new security passcodes. If you would be so kind as to seal the doors and disable certain, equipment, we need to talk.
Understood, Commander.
Thank you for playing along, Sub-Commander. The Tal Shiar can't hear us. I need to talk to you about Datan and the Separatists. They've been located near the Dewa system. What we do next could change our future.
The only thing I know about the Separatists is what I've heard through official channels. What do you know?
Datan has been inspired by Spock's teaching. He and many others have left the homeworld and are gathered together in a flotilla somewhere near Tau Dewa. Datan and his allies have been making overtures of peace to both the Federation and the Klingons. Because of this, they have enough support that even the Tal Shiar won't take direct action against them. The Borg are at our borders. The Empire can't fight the Collective and the Separatists at the same time.
But what does that mean for us?
Thank you for playing along, Sub-Commander. The Tal Shiar can't hear us now. I need to talk to you about Datan and the Separatists.
You're not asking if we should attack them, are you?
If I was, I wouldn't have needed you to lock the door. I intend to put Lieutenant Silan in the brig and then take this ship and crew to join the Separatists. Are you with me?
If we do this, we will be traitors to the Empire.
I know. I have tried to work within the system, but the system is broken and corrupt. Datan and his people are building something better. You and I both know it. The crew knows it. We will take this warbird to Datan, and we will finally be free.
We have to do what is best for our people.
Secret conversations between the commander and one of his senior officers? Very suspicious. Loyal citizens of the Romulan Star Empire have no need for locked doors.
Sir, I am going to have to ask you to accompany the security team to the brig.
Tamer, you are a fool, and you will be the death of everyone on this ship. Datan and his people are terrorists. If you join them, you will share their fate.
You are under arrest. Please comply, and you will not be harmed.
A destiny free from the tyranny of the Tal Shiar. If we leave, we will have a better, brighter future than what they would allow us. I know it is a step into the unknown, but it is a step we will take together. Throw off your chains. We will join our brothers and sisters in freedom.
First line of that cutscene was not working very well.
I wanted to let you know that I am with you and Commander Tamer. Some of my family has left Romulus to join Datan. I'll be proud to join them.
Set a course for the Dewa system. Notice to all hands, the seminar, traitors in our midst. The historical executions of traitors to the Star Empire has been moved to 2100 hours. Attendance is mandatory for all officers not on duty at this time. Notice to all ship commanders. Starfleet vessels have been assisting new Romulans in areas near the neutral zone. Imperial ships are being dispatched in a show of force. Any ships harboring or assisting the Separatists are to be fired upon. There are no exceptions. Ships in Group Gamma are being reassigned to patrols in the area targeted by the Borg. Contacts are regular, but vigilance is needed to eradicate the threat and protect our colony worlds. Commander's personal log. Triple encryption, Protocol Zeta 6. Gaius is becoming suspicious. I've been speaking to members of the senior staff, and most are in favor of making a run for the flotilla and joining Titan. But I remain cautious. They are doing the right thing, but the Borg are nipping at our heels. Every ship the fleet loses might be one needed to protect Romulus in its hour of need. But what is left there to protect? Long-range sensors show no Herald or Iconian signatures, and there are no references to Heralds in the ship's database. The only references to the Iconians are in the historical files, and most refer to the Iconians as a myth. There are heightened levels of Borg activity throughout the Beta Quadrant, and multiple colony worlds have been assimilated. Romulan fleets are on high alert, but have not been able to make major inroads against the Collective. I'm starting to get sleepy.
That is the most promising simulation yet. It appears there was some merit to our hypothesis that the Iconians advanced their plans due to early contact.
But it's not perfect by any means.
The readings do indicate higher levels of Borg activity, but it should be an acceptable risk.
This is a major alteration to the timeline. We should be cautious.
The data in this simulation does show higher Borg activity than we're currently seeing, but there are no signs of Herald, Iconian, or Solanae presence at all. And while the Romulan Star Empire is restored to their former power, there is a democratic Romulan group opposing the Tal Shiar. And more importantly, Romulus is intact. This is the result many of our Romulan researchers have been trying to bring about.
But this isn't our reality. We'll be significantly altering everything we know.
The political calculus of the quadrant will change, but the data supports what you saw on the holodeck. No Iconians. We have solid projections. The only suggestion I have now is that you consider it in conjunction with Captain Nog and the Republic representatives here.
I'll discuss it with them, but I'm not making any promises.
This last test has the most promising results I've seen, and saving the Romulan homeworld is an added bonus. We're not going to have a lot of shots at this. I've been looking at Anorex's work, and I think it's too easy to get into a temporal loop where you try again and again for a specific result, and time starts fighting back. I'm inclined to say this is our best chance. But this will have a huge impact on the reality we know, especially your people, Commander Jirok. I won't give my authorization without hearing from everyone.
We can't move forward without considering the effect of the Republic on the Republic. Commander Jirok?
This is difficult. It would change everything for us. We'd have our home back, but the Republic, everything we've built, it would all be gone. But there's still hope. Even in this other reality, Titan has led many Romulans away from Sela and her Tal Shiar thugs.
This impacts the Republic most of all.
The simulation specifically mentioned Titan and a separatist movement. Commander Tamer makes the choice to join Titan, the same choice he made after the homeworld was lost. With Romulus, we could have numbers. More people who have had enough of the Tal Shiar's oppression could join us. Maybe millions more. If Titan is able to get a movement going, even at the height of the Empire's power, I have to believe that change is possible.
What do you think we should know? What do you think we should do?
Make the incursion. The lives we save will be worth the work we'll have to do to reform the Republic. The Talshar wasn't able to stop us the first time. They won't stop us again.
The Romulan Republic thinks it's worth the risk, then we should try it. So we have been informed that the Lisette and the Krenim vessel will be traveling with us to the site of the temporal incursion. The Krenim vessel has the weapon on board, and the Lisette will provide additional security and manpower if needed. Understood. Anything else? All three vessels will be temporarily shielded to protect us from changes to the timeline. As long as that shielding holds, we will be able to observe the changes and even interact with them. But we will not be part of the new timeline. Captain Nog says the temporal shield generators can be damaged. We'll need to be careful. We can beam you up to the Alexandra as soon as you're ready. Alright, prepare for immediate departure. Oh my god, I'm getting really, really sleepy.
Target acquired and locked. Activating weapon. Incursion complete.
It will be good to see the world of my birth again.
I see this is still bugged.
Elements? Is that Romulus? It's been completely assimilated.
Yes, I think we have a problem.
No. We expected to see some Borg activity, but this can't be right.
What happened?
I agree that this is unexpected, Commander, but we knew there would be anomalies. We need more information. Let's find out where the simulation might have gone wrong.
Stay on the edge of the system. Drock and I will move in for sensor sweeps. The last thing we need is the Borg assimilating the Krenim's weapon.
The whole system can't be assimilated, can it? That is a lot of Borg.
Scanning in progress.
According to these scans, the planet has been completely assimilated. I'm not detecting any non-Borg life signs. This is bad. Really, really bad. We need to fix this.
Agreed.
Borg ships decloaking. Red alert.
Great, the Borg have cloaks now. Shields up!
First the Klingons, now the Borg. Does everyone steal cloaking technology from us?
Oh god, the huge cube.
More information before we can fix this. I'll keep the Krenim ship well out of Borg sensor range while you go in and find out what happened. Hurry. More Borg will be arriving soon.
Won't we be affected by the timeline shift once we leave the ship?
I've modified some personal shield generators to shield you temporally as well. I'm transporting them over now. Hurry. The temporal shielding drains a lot of power. You won't have much time down there before you're unprotected. If that happens, this will be your new reality.
Understood. We'll get the data. We have the temporal shields for the away team, sir. And Claudia says she is concerned about the weapon. We probably only have one more shot before the capacitors burn out. So we need to get this right now and get back to the timeline that's not overrun by the Borg. Sensors are detecting a mainframe that should have the data you need. The Lassette will remain to protect the Krenim ship, while you and Commander Jirok beam down to gather information.
We need more data to plot a possible solution. With any luck, the Borg will have what we need. Maybe. Our focus is on restoration. There is a computer node in this area of the Unimatrix that should have what we need. Find the node and download all the data you can from the point where we made our incursion. That should help us find out how to fix this.
We'll find the data.
I'm going to join you. I know this place. Or at least I knew this place. Before we lost the homeworld, it was a Talshar complex. Most of the secrets of our empire were stored here. I thought I was getting my home back, but now the Borg have taken it all away. This is like losing Romulus all over again.
I'll do what I can to help, Commander.
The controls ahead of us will unlock the bulkheads. The whole planet. All our people. They're Borg. I can't believe we were so wrong. Cover me! I'll override the door controls.
Oh, now they're waking up.
Got it. We have to find a way to make this right.
Resistance is futile.
There. That's the access node console we need. Locked. We'll have to circumvent their security measures. Wait! Incoming Borg! When we lost the homeworld, I thought that was the worst thing that could happen to us.
Assimilated.
Wow, you adapt way too quickly.
This was Romulan technology once, but it's been completely assimilated. Hakiv?
You will become one with the Borg. Resistance is futile.
Hey, look at that, we get to kill Hakiv again. Accessing temporal records. Drone 2 of 18 reporting to Alco. Oh, well. Break down records by year and provide a summary of events for Romulus system only. Display results with oldest entries first. Stardate 68589.04. Romulus system added to the collective. Stardate 68590 to 69000, Unimatrix established in orbit of Romulus, designated Unimatrix 652. Stardates 69000 to 70000, all adjuncts of Unimatrix 652 redesignated into Trimatrixes 1152 through 1274.
It looks like the main invasion of Romulan space occurred about 20 years ago. Something happened in the Delta Quadrant. The Borg assimilated something that greatly improved their technology. They adapted, evolved, and my people, they didn't have a chance. Maybe it's our fate to lose Romulus.
All we can do now is try to restore the previous timeline. Maybe this will help. There are Borg signatures on the approach. You need to get back there, sir. I think he meant to say, you need to get back here.
Let's get out of here. There are more than 20 Borg ships on an intercept course.
Understood.
More Borg on the way. Borg decloaking.
Decloaking? They just warped in. Oh. Nog?
We're losing power. Send the data now before we lose temporal shielding.
Sending the data now.
Focus on your repairs. We will make sure the data is preserved.
At least they haven't assimilated the wearer technology yet. Sending it now.
Communications array is ready. Secure channel confirmed.
Data received.
Running the numbers. If we target the Borg transport, the Borg may never be able to reach us.
It is a great risk. The Borg
is no time to run simulations.
Do we have a choice?
Do not. Targeting the transwarp network.
Firing the weapon! Now!
The Borg are gone. But so is Romulus.
Romulus isn't the only thing we lost. Temporal shielding is failing.
What happened?
The Borg did too much damage to the generators. If we lose the temporal shielding, we'll all reintegrate with the timeline.
Has anything else changed?
Checking? No. The Tutarians. They're gone!
How?
I see the problem. 20 years ago, your people tried to replicate the work of the Solanae to protect themselves from the Borg. They failed.
Oh god.
Temporal shield is at 8%.
No, I need to restabilize the shields.
I'm downloading my personal files into the shielded core. You'll have all my research notes and everything we've recorded from this mission.
You're giving up? When the shield fails, if the Tutarians were lost in the past, then you'll be lost too.
Temporal shield is losing integrity.
Is there anything we can do?
No, we all knew the risks. I love...
So how did mine and Lisette's shields get affected? There's been a development, Captain. Captain Nog, Commander Jarok, and the Krenim researchers are waiting for you in the conference room to go over their findings. Meet them there.
We've found a temporally shielded computer core, and it shows 2 uses of the Krenim weapon. But as far as I know, the Iconians are still out there. We changed the timeline, but we didn't fix our most important problem.
How different is the world now?
We won't be sure until we finish analyzing the data, but the Krenim weapon was used twice. I remember being on the bridge of the Krenim ship and seeing a readout with a far lower power reserve than had just been there a moment before. I'm sure you had a similar situation.
I did.
As to the greater differences, we'll know more soon. I only hope the ripples from what we did today don't start a tsunami.
Agreed.
We found a temporally shielded computer core.
What was in the core?
We haven't dug that far into the data yet, and it will take some in-depth investigation to catalog all of the changes. Noi is going to lead the group taking care of that. I will say it is odd to find personal logs I don't remember making.
I imagine that would be strange.
Very. But from what we've already seen, it appears the reason the weapon was fired twice was because we had to try to correct a change we made. Technology like this seems so simple, but even the smallest change can make more trouble than it solves. We have to be more cautious. Far more cautious than we've already been, I suppose. The next mistake might not be fixable. Time alteration might not be the answer. There are some problems that can't be solved with a weapon. But time travel... Look, whatever happens, it was good working with you. I hope we have the chance to do so in the future.
Good working with you too, Captain. Why didn't we think to use time travel to begin with?
I have a lot of information to analyze. The shielded core appears to have made it through the process intact, and will give us a wealth of data on the timeline and how the changes have affected it. Clearly, you made a mistake somewhere. I still feel this is the best technology available to us, but we will need minds sufficient to the task to operate it.
Goodbye. What?
I was conducting another simulation, and all of a sudden I got an emergency call telling me to stop everything. I will be looking at whatever data we managed to save to try and determine what went wrong. Maybe we can try again after we know more.
I hope you find something. We can't afford another incident like that.
It has been good to have you here, but we will have to consider if time alteration is really the best course of action. Of all the records we have of time travel, few have as drastic a result as this. Perhaps removing elements from the time stream isn't the solution we need.
We've put so much hope into using the Krenim technology to solve our problems. Perhaps I was caught up in the possibilities and blind to the potential for disaster. We tried and we failed. But this isn't the end. We'll keep looking at the simulations, as well as any other option open to us. I have to have faith that we will find a way to defeat the Iconians.
Discover what happened and move on from there. It's all we can do. Sir, I'm concerned about using time travel to solve the Iconian situation. But it is one of the only options we have that they don't. I hope whatever the Alliance decides to do, we don't end up in a worse situation than we're already in. Are you ready to come back home? Say? Take me back to the Alexandra.
Captain Nog tells me that the initial test of the Krenim weapon was less than promising. He says that he and his team have a great deal of data still to analyze. But I do not believe they will find much that will assist us. Removing elements from the time stream is reckless, and while our options are limited, we should not destroy ourselves in a fruitless effort to destroy the Iconians. It is time to consider all of our alternatives.
So I'll just grab something here.
The war continues, and all of our warriors are needed to fight.
Now, I was gonna try to finish this all up, but I'm getting really tired. So I'm gonna stop for tonight. And hopefully finish this tomorrow. So thank you all for watching. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.